All right, it's official. I'm recording now. I won't get in trouble with Stephanie. Hi, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Oh, same to you.
Thanks for picking an auspicious day to hold this meeting, Cheryl.
Oh, I know you'll all know my politics when I say this, but I'm sorry, but the world is just looking a little better today.
No kidding.
It
Amen.
just is.
Well,
It's looking a little better. We'll
mhm,
see what happens, but I have hope. I have hope.
I do too.
And I had my pearls on today. I don't know if the rest of you did, but Michael John, I don't know if you had your pearls on, Paul.
I'm not
just-
sure what the pearls mean.
Well, Kamala Harris, oh, here's Chris, always wears pearls.
Okay.
So there was a big movement to get just women to wear pearls, but guys can wear pearls too. There's no discrimination there. So I had my 3 strings of pearls on just for good luck. Just for good luck.
Good.
Sweet.
Yep. Hi, Chris.
Hello,
How
Hey,
are
Chris.
ya?
Hi,
I am
Chris.
doing. Hi, Ginger.
That's
Everybody
some
doing
beard you got
okay?
going there, buddy. Look at that beard Chris has.
Yeah,
Woo!
Hey,
rebel with,
Bill.
a, rebel with a cause.
Look at you with all that hair.
Becky, I wanted to
Yes.
let you know that I really like your self-portrait.
Oh, well, thank you, Chris.
It's
It's-
really neat.
It's
I
a
like
little
how
wacky.
you, Had paintbrushes in your hair.
How did you see that? I haven't seen that.
I just put it up on Facebook before our meeting started. It's on my Facebook.
Oh, you haven't entered it yet.
No, I have not. I mean, I'm not even sure I'm done, but I think I
Oh.
might be, but it's titled Plein Air Painter. I've got paintbrushes coming out of my hair and leaves growing on my dress. So
Oh, I like it.
It's a neat piece.
thank you. Thank you.
So Kathy, where'd she go on my screen? There she is. Do you want to start us off with,
Sure, welcome everybody. I guess we've all said hello, so we can move on. Go with the minutes. I don't know if everybody's had a chance to read November minutes or not, but I'd like to get them approved if we can. Can we get a motion to approve them for November?
I'll motion, Chris will motion.
Second,
Can we get a second?
second.
All right, any opposed?
Who is that that seconded? I'm sorry.
Michael John.
Michael, okay.
Michael John.
All in favor to accept them?
Aye.
Aye.
Then we can move on to the financial report.
okay, except I have to show you the picture that Natalie just sent me because this is the best. Abby's 4, right? 5, she's 5. So Abby drew a picture of Kamala Harris, and this picture is called The Girl in Charge. Just a minute, I'll see if I can get it.
Oh, that's good.
How fun.
Wow.
Yeah.
That
really
made my day.
Fun.
He likes purple.
That purple coat, that was I would take that coat in a second.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Okay, sorry, I'm looking, I thought I printed this out. Oh, you know what? I don't think I printed it out of it.
Yeah, you did. Oh,
I know, I gave it to you guys, but I didn't make
sorry.
myself
I figured it out.
I didn't make myself a copy. Hang on.
Is it still the report from November?
No, it's the recent report that I sent out, but sorry about that. Hang on a second.
Is it the July through December?
Camera?
It's July through December.
I can share my screen and.
Oh,
show the
that would be
report.
good, John, because that's what I was looking to do, but if you could do it, that'd be great.
Oh, I'm glad for John.
Can y'all see that?
Yeah.
Could you make it bigger?
Yeah, that's what always happens. Hold on a second.
Ah,
Whoop, one second.
thought I,
Got it. Gotta make it.
uh-oh.
Gotta
It's
open it with the
loading.
other thing so I can make it, it was just like a preview, so it wouldn't let me zoom the right way.
Oh, darn.
Okay, it's good to have somebody,
Perfect.
it's good to have somebody techie involved.
I know, I love it.
Thank you. That is what I was going to go over as soon as, there we go. Okay, now I can read it.
Yeah, that's always my struggle too. You're not
Yeah,
alone.
okay. So we did, I think I reported this last time, we did get our 12,500 in CARES funding. And I have to turn in a report on that by the end of next week, but I will
Wow.
do that because we spent the money, so there's no problem. I just have to do the report. I'm going into the office tomorrow and I'm going to try to get it done then.
And that is from whom?
That was from the Division of Arts and Museums.
Oh, the
Whoops,
Zap.
there's a cat here. So I think the only difference in revenue from last time is reflected in the fine arts line item and plein air because we sold paintings in both of those. So, and I also moved the application fees in there. So there's revenue from that. And expenses, the only thing that's changed since last time is the money we paid out to the artists in the fine art show whose paintings we sold. And I think really we're not spending very much money right now because we're not doing anything that requires money. So I think those are the only changes. So if anybody has any questions, fire them away.
Cheryl,
Yep.
does some of that money need to go to the city for your pay?
No,
summer?
because the city pays me out of the general fund.
Okay,
Yep.
okay.
Which is a huge relief to me, not having us be a nonprofit, because the way I've seen nonprofits scramble the past, almost year with COVID. I'm really glad that my salary gets paid by the city, so I didn't have to worry about that. Okay, that's good. Thanks, John.
No problem.
You could share, if you have any pretty pictures, you can share them with us now.
No pretty pictures.
Hi, Jen.
Hi, sorry, I got stuck in traffic. So,
Hi, Jen.
hello.
Traffic? Who's out in traffic?
Well, sadly, I was trying to go to the bank and they all closed at 5. So I was up on Foothill. I did this loop and I still didn't make it to the bank. So
Oh,
anyway, it's fine.
Jen, let me give you my address.
Oh, perfect. I'll just slide it in your mail slot. How about that?
Okay, let's see. Okay, so what I was going to report on is Doug Roy, our infamous magician, up and moved to Midvale. Yes, he moved to
Oh,
Midvale.
no. He was so fun to have at our thing. At our,
So I tried to convince him to stay on the council by telling him he could be a council member at large because we have availability for that. But he said he wanted to focus on Midvale, which I totally get that.
well,
But he did say
Thank
that if we
money.
had need of a magic something
Oh,
here
good.
or there, that he would accommodate us if he could. So I was glad to hear that because he's a fun
Yes.
I just want to
So,
know if he had to
yes.
pack his boxes like everybody else or if he just snapped his fingers and appeared. That's
Yeah,
the real
I bet
question.
he had to do it. I bet he had to do it the old way. Yeah,
Yeah, not the Mary Poppins way.
yeah. So we do have an empty slot And I talked about this with the executive committee, and we kind of battered around the idea of just leaving it alone for right now and waiting till COVID lightened up and we could actually talk to people in person and get somebody on board to help us. We're still within our window of, I think it's between 7 and 13 or whatever it is. We're totally within our range. So anyway, I'm just throwing that out for people to chime in on, but that was our thought, was that we could just wait a little bit.
I think we should wait.
Yeah, I do too. Do we represent every district? Do we have somebody from every district on our board?
We do.
Okay.
So
Was that
anyway, we'll,
Was that on purpose or by accident? That's impressive.
no, it's on purpose.
Nice.
It is.
Do
on-
we have a range of the different artists? You know, you got painters and silversmiths and sculptors and musicians.
And a magician, which we don't have anymore.
No,
We try, Paul, we try. So the Eye to Eye exhibit, which is our self-portrait exhibit, we have 13 entries so far. And this is the one that we're gonna hang in the hallway and we'll spill into the little conduit room if we need to. But
They're entering, I'm entering, and I've talked to a young girl in high school who's planning on entering.
yeah, I think, well, the
I'm
deadline.
entering. I'm entering
The
too.
deadline is February 6th. And knowing how artists work, we'll
Yeah.
have a whole lot of entries between February 1st and February 6th.
Mhm.
Right.
John, how you doing on yours?
Just about to get started. Still working on a concept.
Yeah, that's how. So the last reminder is going to go out next Monday or Tuesday, I think. But we'll definitely have enough for its show. That's all I care about, is we're going to have enough for its show.
Yeah.
Now, I had a couple questions to ask you on that, Cheryl.
Okay.
And one was, so I have a friend that does collages. Does this need to be a painting or could it be something as symbolic as a collage about her?
Yeah, any medium works, and it could be, if you call it a self-portrait, that's good enough for me.
Self-portrait. Okay, and then let's see what else. I guess that was it mostly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And it doesn't have to be of your face. I've already gotten that question a few times.
Mhm.
So
Wow.
John, I've seen your paintings in the past and I'm excited to see your hair color as a teal green.
I'm confident whatever, like if I managed to finish it, would definitely not be normal colored. That's a safe assumption for sure.
Good, that's good. So yeah, we will have enough. I'm happy about that. We will have enough. I'm turning very orange, I'm noticing.
Oh, I remember, Cheryl. Can it be anyone, even if they don't live in Holiday?
Yes.
Okay.
Paul Draper contacted us and he has a virtual show that he's willing to do. Of course, it is not the same as being on stage. Nobody will pretend it is. But we looked at his videos that he sent us and it's only $300. And we decided, why not?
Yeah.
So I'm in the process of trying to schedule that with him. What we're trying to do, I think, is Friday, February 19th. And it will be a family show. He opens it up half an hour ahead of time for people to do questions and answers and stuff. And after the show, he does a little demonstration of a magic trick that he teaches whoever's watching.
At
So,
what time?
well, I don't know yet, probably 7, although I don't know that yet, but we'll figure it out.
Okay.
But I don't know, for $300, the guy's been really resourceful during the pandemic. Okay, let's do them.
My family ran into Paul at Harmon's and he made a rutabaga disappear. So that was great.
Did he really?
Oh yeah, my kids immediately recognized him and he was so thrilled to be recognized. And then I think he did, 3 or 4 other magic tricks for other people in the aisle.
Oh,
So-
that is great. Great.
I don't know if he paid for the rutabaga though.
Yeah, he probably does. He's probably got a stack of rutabagas at his house.
That's funny.
I can make one disappear as well, as long as there's a dumpster close by.
Same goes for parsnips.
Yeah.
Oh, now, come on.
No,
Those are
no,
good.
I would eat parsnips.
The other thing,
Well, it
I-
looks like we have our next magician. We just need Chris on a dumpster and
yeah, there we go.
And a theme for a fine art show.
There you go.
Rutabagas. Another misrepresented vegetables or maligned.
I like it.
Other maligned vegetables, yes. The other thing is the art sale with relics. And what this is Relics Gallery. They have in their basement, I would say, a few hundred paintings
Easily.
need to be sold. And I do not know how to describe this other than to say that they're mass-produced original paintings. And by that, Becky, help me out here. By
They're
that,
the ones down like on Highland Drive and 39th South in the,
It's upstairs at Relics. Yeah.
right. So they are all hand painted, but lots of them are painted. And they all differ a little bit. Like if there's one of a house, it will have a couple of trees here. The next one will have a couple of trees here. And then the sky will be a little bit different, but they're all originals. So he is trying to unload those because he needs the space. And he doesn't actually own those. He's storing those for a friend. So he's talking with the friend, and Ben approached me about the possibility of having a sale in the big conduit room and giving us part of the proceeds.
Oh.
So
Oh.
we're going to try to figure out how to do that in May, maybe.
How many pieces of art are there?
Well, hundreds.
Wow.
A few hundred. And if you're, if you don't have, well, I should say this. There are several that I would be absolutely fine hanging in my house. No, they are not by Van Gogh or Rembrandt, but there are several I would put in my house because they're just nice.
Yeah.
And if you don't have much of a budget, especially, the price, of course, is way below what an original would.
Right.
So, John, is there a better word that I'm using for those kind of paintings?
I struggle with that too, Cheryl. I was trying to think because it's kind of the same. You'll go to like art fairs and stuff and they'll mass produce pretty much in warehouses typically, where they'll print out are these kind of those like oil painted typically over the top of a painting, so they are just slapping them out
No,
really
these
fast, or
are-
are these like actual?
These are actual
Like-
paintings.
Huh.
Actual
So
paintings.
so it's not like the ones you see where it's like 7,000 of basically the same painting that's like
No,
a
no.
couple dots difference. Okay, that's awesome then.
So they're not like studies? Is that what you're trying to say? Like they'll take the
Well-
same, or is that it's intentional? Like they're trying to make.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
There's
there's kind of art factories, and you'll see them a lot in like flea markets and stuff where it's like
Right.
they are technically original paintings. They're
Right.
typically quite thick, but they're basically just following a preset template and churning out hundreds or thousands
yeah,
of
it is
copies
like
of the same
that.
painting.
Yeah.
It is.
Are they like the ones that are in that store on Highland Drive that we always call the Mafia front?
Oh, you mean fine art?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
It's a mafia
Yeah.
front.
So
Yeah.
I don't
Goes the
think
wrong
that these, I don't think these paintings are mafia paintings,
Don't you? Oh.
but
Would you
In
see them in
terms-
an art show on a
Same
cruise ship?
style though.
yeah, yeah, there you go. Art on a cruise ship. That's what this is.
That's the name of the show. I like it.
I think you're coming up with a theme.
Galley on the ship.
Way to
Yeah.
keep it classy.
Yeah.
I
So
call that hotel art.
yeah, it's hotel
Oh,
art,
yeah, nice.
Oh, is it?
but it's original hotel art.
I don't know, I think it's a little better than hotel art. There's some nice.
Well, it depends on what hotel you stay at.
That's true. Is it the Motel 6 or?
That's true.
Like to remind the team that we are recording this.
And Motel
Good
6
catch,
is not a,
JC.
We
And
digress.
Motel
All art
6
is
might be a
subject to the eye
sponsor.
of the beholder. I'm sure it's all beautiful things.
and the Zap tax is paid for in part by hotels.
Yeah.
True. They're all good.
So anyway, I will let you know more about that. But I said, you know, back in my early days and student days, I would have bought a piece because I said it's affordable and it's, you know, and they range in sizes, you know, like this up to, you know, pretty big.
Yeah.
So
Better than a bare wall.
yes. So
If
we'll
there's
see
a-
how that goes.
If there's a Jeff Pugh Red Barn, sign me up for that.
No, I already took it if there is.
Okay.
I already bought it. Okay, so that's what I had to report about various things going on. And then Kathy, you want to do utility boxes and I'll chime in with what I learned today.
Okay. Well, I've been in touch 2, 3, 4 times and talked with this Lisa Schmidt, who owns Schmidt Signs, and we've gone back and forth, and we kind of let it fall for a couple of months because of COVID and the holidays, and now I think we're going to pick it up again. And Cheryl's going. I noticed she's got to talk with her, probably on the phone and an email. And so I think we're going to get going with it. You want to go with it? You want to tell the rest of it?
Yeah, so I did talk to Lisa Schmidt today. And actually, I think I can share my screen on this. They look like this. Oh, I have to tell it to share. Never mind, I forgot that part. Share screen.
That's a great picture she took.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay, could you see that?
Hey, Chris.
No.
Just Chris.
Okay, let's see. Okay, that, you can see that, right?
There you go.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay,
There.
so these, this is in front of Soho. And I forgot to measure these, so I'm gonna have to go do that tomorrow. But they're fairly large and ugly. And Gina had actually had approached me several months ago with the idea of possibly getting these decorated so they would not be so ugly. So the idea was maybe to do the food art. And this is where I have a question for JC. So when I talked to Schmitz, I was trying to get an idea of how this actually works. So once we have all the art, I said, well, how do we make it so it fits the boxes? And she said, well, we have artists that do that. And I said, so we would pay them. And she said, yes. And I said, well, what if we had an artist who could do it? Then we wouldn't have to pay you, but it would still work, right? And she said, yes. But then, of course, I thought, well, that would be JC, and I would have to ask that question. So I don't know what you think about that, JC.
Were you gonna ask me?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm asking you.
No, I was just messing with you. Yeah, of course, we'll figure stuff out. I would do art for this. It'd be fun.
I mean, it's what I think we're trying to do, and Natalie, we were gonna work with Natalie if this worked, was to get school kids to do food themed pictures. But then you have a bunch of pictures and you have to put them together in some kind of cohesive, cohesive format. And I sounded sketchy because I am sketchy on this. I'm trying to find the person who did it for the Salt Lake School District because I want to talk to them to see how they did it. Because if you drive around Salt Lake, there are a lot of utility boxes that were decorated by elementary school kids. So,
They paint right on the box?
no.
You
No.
do like a vinyl wrap, so you can still
Vinyl wrap.
access.
Oh.
Yeah, so you can do the access to the box and everything still works, and you can replace it if you need to without having to recreate it.
And you have like a 5-year warranty, I think, on them.
So that is a question that, yes, JC, I did want to ask you about, and then I will have a better idea about how it works after I've talked to some people. But the question was that anything that you would be able to help us with, or you're like, no way, too busy, can't do that? So,
I have a question.
Well, I mean, you can also, Cheryl, I can also be in those conversations to understand what the process is, but
Right.
I'm always too busy, but I'm certainly always willing to do work for this team. So that's not a problem.
JC, is that costly and could it be seasonal?
Go ahead, Cheryl.
I think seasonal could be pretty expensive. Michael John. I asked her if I give her the measurements, I told her I needed an estimate on price. So I have to get that too. And since it was Gina's idea to do this, if it seems like it's a little too expensive, I'm not above asking if the city could kick in a little bit of money to help, but I just don't know what the price is.
How many boxes are we talking about?
Well, it's those 3. 2 of them belong to Rocky Mountain Power and the smaller one belongs to West.
Cheryl, could it be sponsored?
That's a possibility too. Yeah. But let me find out how much it is, because it might not be that big of a deal. I just don't know yet. But,
Maybe one of the food trucks would be.
well, and I want to talk to them because I want to get them on board with the whole thing because they'll benefit. Yes.
Very much.
Yep. So,
Well, and even Soho themselves might sponsor it. And,
right.
If we, I'm also thinking Taqueria 27,
Yeah.
If someone did the artwork of like some tacos or, something like that, and I don't think it would be fair to put a company's name on it unless they sponsor it, but
Right.
So
I will, and I don't even know, that's my job to figure all that out, which I will do. I'm trying to track down the person I can get more information from, but that's what I know as of today. And Kathy has talked to Lisa Schmidt a few times about this, so she knew what I was talking about when I talked to her.
Well, Cheryl, just include me on some of this stuff from a logistics standpoint, so I have an understanding. And, even in those conversations, whether they're technical and stuff like that, so I can understand what we need to deliver.
Right.
But I don't suspect it's going to be very hard or, a big
Right.
deal for us to do. So
Right.
I'm happy to do that.
And obviously, this is a clear case of lots of people have done this. I just have to talk to those people so that then I'm in the loop, and I will keep you in the loop as well.
So South
Thank you.
Salt Lake's Arts Council did it for the city of South Salt Lake.
Oh, that's a great idea, Chris, because I know Leslie, their director, so I will call her. That's a great idea. Thank you.
Okay.
That'll help.
If it works out and isn't too expensive, it'd be fun to see if there's other locations that we can slowly start to build and then end up with
Right.
like a little map, like a walking guide or something to try and get people
Right.
out and about.
Exactly, you know, I
Well,
think
that's what Kathy's wanted to do for a while. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
the original idea to do them all if we can.
Do the glass dumpster by City Hall.
A mosaic, a glass mosaic, John.
Yeah. Called Everything I Drank in COVID. I personally filled that up at least once.
Yeah.
Okay. So Kathy, I have you up next to let everybody know about the concerts and then have our program discussion.
Okay. Well, we've been working hard, going back and forth with Excellence, and we've come up with some eight great performers for the concerts beginning on July 10th. Strawberry Fields would be the first one to open up the season.
Like that.
And so all of these will be on a Saturday night, like always. July 17th, Harry Lee and the Back Alley Blues, which is a great blues band. Harry Lee is a African-American, and so this is really a nod to diversity, we feel like. We've been bringing him in. Joshua Creek on July 24th. They are Western, inspirational Western. Also, they're known as cowboy gospel, but they're really a great group. I think that everybody would enjoy that one. On July 31st, Josh Wright and a performance by Zeke Sokoloff. And I think that would be a great. Zeke will do a number, about a 20-minute number. And he's already agreed to it. We've got him booked, so I think it'd be a great, really great evening. On August 7th, Mariachi Sol de Jalisco. They do traditional Mexican songs, so it'll be all in Spanish. They have a group of dancers. They're pretty interesting. I think they'll be really enjoyable. On August 14th, Night Star Orchestra. They are ones that we signed up for last year, but had to drop. And so we thought it'd be great to have them come back this year. They're a 19-piece jazz orchestra, and we've had them before. They're great. They're really good. I think it was 2017 is when we had them before. August 21st, Melinda Kerrigan-Boss and Ryan Stuckey, Night on Broadway. It'll be an all-new program, new songs they're putting together. And they've always been they're a successful group and everybody loves them. And on August 28th, which will be the Blue Moon Festival, we've got Cold Creek. They're one of the premier bluegrass bands. If anybody watched the 2019 Tabernacle Choir Christmas, they performed that night. They're really good.
Really good, yeah.
And so anyway, and then Cheryl and I, we were talking about bringing on those break dancers, the B-boys. We were planning to have them last year, and we had to cancel everything. So I think this year would be great. They're quite inexpensive. I think they were only $500 for the group, which is really cheap for entertainment. So anyway, that's pretty much it. We've confirmed all the dates. Jeff is now locking in the prices and they're looking really good. And I think, I don't know what our sound and lights will be for this year. I think Taylor will probably raise the price on us a little bit, but they're going to come back with a quote for, in two ways, quoting on the grass and also if we are forced to do it in a parking lot this year, so. Anyway,
Venue wise, are you looking at the Cottonwood Steak again, or are we trying to do it at City Hall?
well, both. We really want to do it at City Hall, and I think that is the plan, but you know, you never know what's going to happen by July. So we're getting a quote both ways on that. And if we are forced to do it in the parking lot, I think we'll probably go back to the same one, since we've already got permission up there.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's going to happen.
I think at the city park, I think you can also social distance there.
Definitely. Yeah. I think we'll be able to pull it off in the park.
Yeah.
What about Music Fest? Any plan for that this year?
You know, I think we should, and I've been kind of working on it. I've been busy here at home this past week, but yes, definitely, I'd like to. I think we should do Music Fest again this year, if we can.
Great. Okay.
We should talk to Taylor Audio about that date, Kathy.
Yeah, good idea. All right. Yeah, because we did have to lock that one in with them.
Because we know what date it would be if we could do it, so.
Yeah, we can do it. Yeah, okay, I will. Get a price on that one too. But I think it's gonna be fun. Be a great year.
It's a lot of hard work, Kathy, thanks.
Thank you.
So then the question was about the program.
Oh, yeah, the programs, yes.
So we had a discussion about this in the executive committee meeting. And our program as designed by JC, of course, is a stellar program. And we did that for 2 years. Last year, we did it, obviously. So the question was, should we ramp up to do it this year? And we had we had a discussion about it because Natalie, you could jump in for yourself, was bringing up an opinion that I think we need to consider. And Kathy also had, there are some opinions out there. So I think we need to figure out what it is that we want to do. And we probably have to make that decision within about a month. But Natalie, why don't you go ahead and say what you were saying before?
Yeah, I just think, COVID has taught us that we can do things differently, and it's time to start thinking about things differently. And I don't know if a program that's just going to get thrown away when people go home is worth the cost or the trees, honestly. And I don't know also what companies are going to go back to. I know a lot of the theaters that I've attended right now, everything's just on, you pull it up on the app on your phone and that's your programs there. And I think that might be a way people are going to start moving toward in the future. And so that's just my 2 cents. And yeah.
We did do a virtual type program.
About why you really want one?
Pardon me?
I said, why don't you give your argument for why you really want a paper program?
I love paper, old school, I guess, but I really do love the paper programs. And I was thinking also being able to offer coupons in the program. It is, I think everybody that has had one in the past has just raved about them, and I think they were a big success. But
I'd like to add my 2 cents. We've got great reviews on programs, and quite honestly, with this pandemic, I've been doing a lot of printing in the way of business materials, and several printers have gone out of business, and they're really eager, and prices have come down on printing.
It's true. Mhm.
So I would investigate the possibility. I think the program is very important.
I love the program, and it, we had several people ask me. I talked to them about it. I mean, they asked me that they thought there was going to be coupons in there, and I think that's a great idea too. How about our small businesses?
Well, I think there's certainly an opportunity maybe to do both. I mean, we can have a single design and still have some programs available. Maybe we don't have to print as many, but also, indicate that the program is also available online if you prefer. And then maybe you can kind of have a test, because I think perhaps there is a younger part of the city, perhaps, that's maybe more into just using their phones and not paper, but then there's still, and we have a fairly wide demographic, maybe perhaps leans to the older side in our city. But I think it's an idea worth pursuing, not necessarily replacing the paper program, but also having some way that to get it either through, I don't think we need to design a complete app, but rather if it's accessible through holidayarts.org/X.
Yeah.
I think we could possibly do a stationary banner that we just put up every time that has all of the dates and who's going to be playing, and make it JC designed so it's really a beautiful banner. And then we wouldn't have to have paper. We could just have people take a look at the banner, and we could put up several, in several places around town.
Well, the program has more information on it than just names and dates.
Yeah.
It potentially has the coupons you're talking about. It has
Yeah.
our sponsors.
Well, you could put sponsors on a banner.
So I mean, you can have more information in a program, whether it's on paper or online. But I still think those banners are also a good idea, but not necessarily as a replacement, but as part of the marketing campaign that shows the names and dates, and also the website where you get the online program.
Yeah, we could do mixed media.
Yeah, we could.
I think we talked, I think maybe it was just you and I, Cheryl, I can't remember, but I think we were talking about putting QR codes in there, and so that you could find out more information in regards to the performers. So maybe we do just like one sort of longish card, and it has all the information, but it has QR codes for every band, and the information's there. But if you want more information, you can just use the camera on your phone. Every camera, is capable of reading a QR code, and it could launch directly to our page. It could launch directly to the band information, and sort of all the particulars. I mean, you could even have a little video clip of the band to see if you'd be interested in it. And that way you're not spending a ton of money on the book. And you just have these, almost, they could probably be bigger than your standard, postcard. And you're just handing those out. And if you have it, and then once you scan the QR code, you can get that information as you go. So you can get it in both ways. Just throwing it out there, I'm doing a couple different programs right now. One for my toy company that all the toys have QR codes on them. But I'm also doing something with a major coffee retailer that also is doing it. So it might be a way to go.
Yeah.
JC, could that also be put in the journal with the QR code?
Could be, so yeah, we can, I have a platform that we can get as many QR codes as we like based on the service that I have. So, we could put a QR code on the banner, right? Someone could, take a picture of the banner and, that could come to life for us. If we wanted to go crazy, part of the stuff we're doing is augmented reality, which maybe you've seen. But we could have the banner, for example, animate if we wanted to, it could play music if you wanted to after you shot the QR code. So it could, as long as there's a QR code, right, you can put it on anything. We have t-shirts with QR codes in the back of them, so you could literally, take a picture of someone's back and it would launch a website.
So what I do like about this using both idea is we have a whole lot of seniors who come to our concerts, and they are not cell phone savvy. Not everybody, of course, sorry.
Exactly.
Many of them are not cell phone savvy. So if we had a card that, well, we always have a big postcard. So, well, we haven't done those. Did we do those last year? No, I can't even remember what we did. We had a postcard. So if we had a big postcard, I feel like we have to accommodate our seniors as well.
Mhm.
So I think there has to be a way that we have something to hand out that's printed. But the QR code idea is a really good one, because then people who know how to use that could shuttle off to the, online information. But we wouldn't be leaving seniors high and dry.
I like the idea of having it both ways too. Because we
Mhm.
have a very mixed demographic here, I think.
So does anybody else want to chime in on this?
I think it makes a ton of sense, just in general, like if we get access, like JC said, to a QR code generator, you just use it to make a URL. So anything that we do, we can pop it on, and then we can see how many people are using them. Probably our website would track that. I imagine that's something I can work with Becky on or something and try and figure out how to have our website track it. And then we can actually see how people are using them and decide if it's worth doing more or not. But it's a great experiment.
That is an interesting idea to track all that. Yep.
Because then we can decide if it's worth the trouble. But at least,
So do we tentatively want to move forward with, I'm just going to call it a postcard, because I'm talking not, the little one, but postcard.
Mhm.
Do we tentatively want to go towards that with QR codes? Is that what I'm hearing people are up for?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Mhm.
Okay. So JC, you and I and Kathy will need to have some discussions about what we would need to feed your direction, so you would have the information you needed, but we can do that later.
Yeah, it's no problem. I'm gonna send everyone, this is not the actual design, but I'm sending everyone by email just so you can see how easy it works. You can hold it up to your screen on your computer with your smartphone and your camera, and you'll see it'll launch directly to a website. So that's how simple it would be. And as John intimated, all we're gonna do is if we need 20 QR codes, we'll just assign a QR code to every band, which might be a page within our site that we build that'll go there, if that makes sense. So I'll send this through to you guys now. You can check it out with your phones. It'll just launch directly to our holding site, but you can have it go to wherever you want it to go, really. It could go directly to the band's website. It could go to the band's Facebook page, wherever you want it to go. And I think we talked too before, Cheryl, that we can make it really easy for people to make donations to us. just by shooting the donation QR code, which would spill them to our donation page where they can fill those things out via their mobile device. So it's a super simple way to get them to our fundraising site.
Well, and we did last year during the concerts, we had a few people give us $50 or $100. And a couple of people gave us like 10 or 20, but people were very grateful for the concerts that we did last year, and people gave us money for that. We just got one last week. Somebody gave us $100. And she said that she really enjoyed the concerts with her husband, and more power to us. And here was $100. So okay.
Speaking of donations, and maybe executive committee already addressed sponsorships. Are we doing anything special there to get sponsors?
I am going to send out letters to the sponsors we usually use. And my big one, of course, is to see if I can talk to Ben at the bank.
Okay.
Because if we get them in line, everything else just sort of falls along with it. So that's on my to-do list, is to call or write him and see if I can get through to him about that. I mean, banks made a lot of money with all those, those loans that were given out. So they may very well be perfectly happy to send 10,000 our way again, like they have in the past. So I will check. Yeah. And some sponsors that we had last year who told me specifically that they'd be on board this year, even though they weren't last year. So we'll see.
Okay.
Yep. The dance concert, Ginger, did you want to get on that?
All right. I called Granite School District, and they have not yet decided whether or not they're going to allow rentals. She was going to let me know by the end of this week, but I haven't heard. I keep checking my emails, and I haven't heard anything from her. Really nice lady, Gaina Breeze, really very sweet, but she just said they just, don't dare do it this yet. And she said, if we did it, well, let me talk about my concerns. Say that we can do it, okay? Several teachers have not had consistent schedules in their studios, due to COVID, and they've had spotty classes. They haven't had full classes. Some studios have closed for a while, I know that's true. And I worry that they may not have presentable numbers with such short notice. And we want quality. We want big numbers that are beautifully done. We don't want just something that, everybody's kind of thrown together. Gaina told me these would be the possible restrictions if the district says yes. We could only have a 30% audience, which means about 200 people, 200 to 250, which would mean that I would either allow 20 tickets per studio and per school to be divvied up, amongst their dancers, however they want to, or I could do 2 tickets per person and I'd have to send out the tickets to each studio, which is no big deal. My question there is, would parents support if they were not able to come, if they were not one of the 20 that was able to get a ticket? This really upset me. Jane, my friend that teaches at Olympus Junior, said that the district told her if they were to have an actual presentation, a live presentation, that only had to assign seats to audience members, and they had to have a list of who was in every seat.
Now you just lost me right there.
Well, they'd have to,
No way.
Okay, yeah, I mean, it gets worse. Every third seat is a person, and we would have to get names of people in those seats. Now, if that's true, forget it.
Contact Tracy.
Yeah.
Yes.
sure.
Uh-huh.
That's true. My daughters both heard the musical that she did and the choir concert we went to. We had to go online, sign up, pick our seats, give them all of our information of who we were, and then stay in those seats.
Well, and then we would have to have a seat. She called it a seat Nazi, a person that goes up and down the aisles and makes sure that we are
Oh my
COVID
goodness. Oh,
keeping the rules. Yeah, so, and then we'd also have to guarantee social distancing in the halls before and after the show. So we'd have to have more, all of us, Nazi stuff to tell people that they have to separate. So those things really make me nervous.
Well, they're violating my rule of, if it's not simple, why are we doing it?
Yeah,
mhm.
yeah. And that's what I think. My preference, and I would love to get all of your input. I don't mean to appear lazy because I'll do anything, but I think it's just ridiculous this year. And I think we ought to wait until next year and start strong with 100%, no restrictions, no strings attached, just a good show with a nice big audience like we used to have.
Indoor events like this, no one's really doing them yet at any sort of scale.
No,
I know that the new administration is coming, wants 100 million shots and 100 million arms by April, but even
Yeah.
then, we're only at that's when we're talking about. And I think we just need to focus on our outdoor events for the summer, because
yeah,
there's going to be a much larger measure of capability to pull that sort of thing off. We're still going to probably have some difficulty even then, but at least we'll be outdoors.
yeah.
The restrictions won't be quite so
And we can't do a
rough.
dance concert outdoors. It's
Yeah,
too
because
cold.
even now, we're still not even meeting together ourselves yet.
Yeah,
And city council isn't meeting in person yet. And I know we're talking April, but there's just too many unknowns to do something indoors yet. It's just dicey.
I tentatively reserved a date at Olympus Junior just in case, but the more I think of it, I just think it's crazy.
I'm thinking that, plus the quality issue, I think is something we got to consider, Ginger. I think you're right about that.
Yeah,
And I really think we might just want to wait until next year.
I do too.
And my daughter's dance studio right now, all their performances are video performances. They're
Yeah.
recording them and
Yeah.
showing them on YouTube. But even then, the dancers themselves are wearing masks,
all masks.
ballerinas and masks.
Yeah,
And they're shooting shows, but they're not for live performance. They're all for video performance.
even that is difficult, really difficult.
Mhm.
So, I
So
don't
that-
mean to appear lazy, but I don't want to put on a.
You're not lazy.
That's not lazy.
That's not lazy. That's just being smart.
That's
Yeah.
good thinking.
So that's what I've found out. I've done as much as I can do. And so that's
Right.
kind of what I
That
thought.
does bring up what you were mentioning about whether the school district agrees to let people in the building. That applies to the Blue Moon Festival. We have to get a mass permit, a mass gathering permit to hold the Blue Moon Festival.
Yeah.
So if the county is not giving those out as of a certain date, we cannot have Blue Moon. There's no
We have to
discussion.
advertise.
We can't have it. Because if we don't have a mass gathering permit, there is no Blue Moon.
Yeah,
And if the county says you could have a mass gathering permit and you have to do 6 feet apart and you have to have 15,000 monitors and you gotta have that, we're not gonna do it because
No.
that is way too much work.
yeah, it's too much.
So I'm just throwing that out there that I will call the county and ask what they're thinking. They're certainly not giving them out now. But I usually apply for the mass gathering permit like in February or March. So I'm gonna be in contact with them, but if it comes with a ton of strings attached, it's
Yeah.
just too much work. We don't have the people power to do it.
No, it's too many hoops to jump through.
Then we're back at our drive-in concert series, which we still would be glorious.
Well, no, we
Yeah,
don't
they
need a
were
mass
great.
gathering permit for that.
Right, yeah, that's our backup plan if we,
Oh, right, I see what you're saying. Yes, correct, correct. Okay, I'm realizing it's getting, it's a little past 6:30. The only other thing I wanted to talk about was the fine art show. And Becky and I have been doing some behind the scenes things, getting the application form ready, getting the advertising ready, that kind of thing, getting the sign up Genius organized. And because we just did it a few months ago, I actually, we know what we're doing because we just did it a few months ago. But Chris is, he's still here. Yes, Chris
Yes,
is
I'm here.
saying that he's feeling good and he's going to be a big part of it, which I'm very happy to hear. Yay, Chris.
Yes.
So
Yes.
just know that we're plowing ahead with that because it's only 2 months away. So our call for entry will go out the beginning of February and we'll get back on track. But it will be held the same way it was last fall, which is to say people will have to wear masks.
And
And
no
there will
food,
be staggered attendance by signing up online.
and no food, right?
No food.
Or
No.
drink. Yeah.
And we'll get somebody's comment that says, why don't you have food and drink available? Or why don't you have the Meet the Artist night? And I will just politely look at them and say, are you living on the same planet that I am?
Maybe we can have a vaccine booth.
Rock.
Oh, that's a good idea. Let's have a vaccine booth. How about
Sign me up.
a rapid vaccine? It works immediately.
Oh, gee.
So anyway, next month, we'll be talking about that a lot more because we'll be in the thick of it. But I just wanted to let you know that Chris is on board, which we're very happy for.
Cheryl,
Yeah,
is there any way we could include fiber art in our fine arts concert? I mean, our fine arts show. There was some beautiful fiber art down at the art museum Saturday.
you know what? People can submit that, Ginger. We accept any
Yeah.
medium.
Yeah, but I mean, I think people don't know that, you know?
Well, I will make that more clear when I send out the email. I'll name that
Fiber art is
specifically.
so
Yeah,
exciting.
yeah,
Oh, dude.
yeah.
So, you know,
That's a good idea.
any fiber. This woman it was a knit and crochet, and she had done this gigantic wedding gown and with a train, and it was just a thing of beauty.
Okay.
And it was right in the middle of the museum. It was just.
No, that's a good point. I will specifically, because we always say any medium, but I
Yeah.
will be more specific.
I think people don't understand that, needlework of any kind. I mean,
Right.
that's fiber art, any
Right.
kind of needlework.
Right,
So,
right. No, that's a good idea. I'll see if we got to work on that to
okay.
expand it.
Cheryl?
Yep.
Cheryl, I know you and Becky have been coordinating with each other, but if you would like me to come into your office and meet with you and Becky, I'm available to do that.
Yeah. We may
So-
very well do that, like in a couple, 2 or 3 weeks or so, because it would be a lot easier. We could meet in the principal's room, which is pretty spread out. Or
Right.
actually, we have the Mount Olympus room they've rejiggered it, so it has like 4 tables that are spread out. And yeah, we could maybe do that in 2 or 3 weeks and just hash out a bunch of details. It would be a lot easier.
The 19th of February, I'm going to Hawaii for a week.
Okay.
But
Well, we
that's
could
my
meet
own,
there. I'm okay with
Yeah.
meeting there.
yeah.
Becky,
You're not
let's
gonna
Have
be
a
invite-
here then.
COVID shot before you go, Chris. A negative COVID shot or you're quarantined for 10 days.
I understand. I have
Like,
a
I'll be
friend that just
quarantined
got
for-
back 2 weeks ago.
Still
So,
worth it.
yeah.
Okay,
So
does
it-
anybody have any other questions about anything that's coming up or,
What's the date on the fine art show again?
it's the 22nd,
7th.
27th.
Yeah, something like that.
And
27th
we will need help with that because,
27th of February?
March.
March.
well, actually, the shows are exactly the same time. February 22nd to 27th and March 22nd to 27th.
Okay.
I have a question or idea, maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's not worth anything. It just hit me. You were talking about food at the fine art show. So we can't have food, but maybe we could offer coupons to some of our, you know, restaurants or whatever in Holiday, or so they could go and have something to eat and get 10 or 15% off, or I don't know. I was just thinking, I wonder if we could do something like that.
They'd have to be willing to print the coupons. The restaurants would.
Oh, say that again?
No, say the restaurants would have to be willing to do that and to print the
Right,
coupons.
right.
And I have no idea. I mean, that would take some time to check out whether,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
hey, anybody have any other questions?
No.
Comments? Time to go get dinner for everybody?
Yes.
Yeah.
Me too. I know I need dinner too. Okay, so thanks. It will be great when we can meet in person again. It would be sure nice to see everybody.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
But until that time, I appreciate the fact that you get on these Zoom things and you hang in there with us and you still help, because otherwise we would not be doing anything these days.
Mhm.
So, hi, Jared.
He says hi.
Behind John. I know, he's not listening. So anyway, thank you all, and we'll be in touch.
Move to
Okay.
adjourn.
Sounds great.
Good to see you all.
Thanks.
Nice work. Bye all.
See ya,
Bye-bye.
see ya.